We have learned that there are three main theories of information processing: the planning, attention, arousal, and simultaneous successive model of intelligence, then triarchic theory of intelligence, and theory of multiple intelligences. In the previous video, we have learned the past theory. Today, we will see the triarchic theory. The triarchic theory of intelligence originated as an alternative to the concept of general intelligence factor or the G factor. Triarchic. Tri meaning three. So, a theory composed of three different types of intelligence. These three types of intelligence form a matrix of skills that together can predict a person's success in life. Before going to the details, please remember to subscribe the channel if you are new here. Do watch other videos in this channel, share it with students and those who love learning psychology. Thank you. Triarchic theory of intelligence. In the early 1980s, Robert Sternberg first introduced his work on the triarchic theory of intelligence. It was an attempt to learn and dissect human intelligence into three distinct categories. There are three sub-theories and each sub-theory corresponds to one of the three proposed types of intelligence. First one is Componential Sub Theory, and it corresponds to analytical intelligence, the ability to evaluate information and solve problems. Second is Experiential Sub Theory, and it corresponds to creative intelligence, the ability to come up with new ideas. Third is Contextual Sub Theory. It corresponds to practical intelligence, the ability to get along in different contexts. First one, Componential Sub Theory. This outlines the various mechanisms that result in intelligence. According to Sternberg, this subtheory is comprised of three kinds of mental process or components. First one is meta-component. It enables us to monitor, control, and evaluate our mental processing so that we can make decisions, solve problems, and create plans. Second is performance component. That enable us to take action on the plans and decisions arrived by the meta component. Third is knowledge acquisition component. It enables us to learn new information that will help us carry out our plans. This subtheory, the componential subtheory, it reflects a particular kind of intelligence or ability, the analytical intelligence. The componential subtheory is related to analytical intelligence, which is essentially an academic intelligence. The analytical intelligence is used to solve problems and is the kind of intelligence that is measured by a standard IQ test. Sternberg defines analytical intelligence as the ability to recognize patterns, apply logic, and use deductive reasoning. It is closely related to Spearman's generalized intelligence. Let us see an example. Consider you are planning for a home renovation. For that, you would need to analyze the space, evaluate the different options for materials, layout, design, etc. And you need to judge which approach would be the most practical and cost-effective. This involves breaking down the project into smaller parts, considering different factors and making a decision based on that. So that intelligence is the analytical intelligence. Second is experiential sub theory. It proposes that there is a continuum of experience from novel to automation to which intelligence can be applied. It is at the extreme of this continuum that intelligence is best demonstrated. At the novel end of the spectrum, an individual is confronted with an unfamiliar task or situation and must come up with a way to deal with it. At the automation end, that is the other end of the continuum, one has become familiar with a given task or situation and can now handle it with minimal thought. This subtheory reflects a particular kind of intelligence or ability, that is creative intelligence. The experiential subtheory is related to creative intelligence, which is one's ability to use existing knowledge to create new ways to handle new problems or cope in new situations. Creative intelligence or experiential intelligence is defined by how well a person handles novelty. Sternberg observed that people with high intelligence handled new problems with greater skill than others. They seemed to have a predisposition for acquiring new skills and abilities. This was due to what he called the experiential or creative intelligence. Because of this, people with this form of intelligence adapt quickly to their environment and tend to have a flexible mindset. A simple example of creative intelligence can be: consider you want to try something new recipe for a family dinner. You would need to use your imagination to combine different ingredients, flavors, and cooking techniques to create a unique and tasty meal. This requires the ability to think outside the box, experiment with different approaches, and innovate based on your experience and preferences. Third is contextual sub theory. This theory says that intelligence is intertwined with the individual's environment. Thus, intelligence is based on the way one functions in their everyday circumstances, including one's ability to adapt to one's environment, select the best environment for oneself, or shape the environment to better fit one's needs and desires. This subtheory reflects a particular kind of intelligence, that is practical intelligence. Sternberg called one's ability to successfully interact with the everyday world practical intelligence. Practically intelligent people are especially adept at behaving in successful ways in their external environment. Practical intelligence is the intelligence of common sense thinking. A person's practical intelligence is reflected in their ability to fit into adverse environment and navigate their surroundings with confidence and competence. For example, consider you are faced with a car problem on a road trip. You would need to be able to diagnose the problem, assess whether it can be fixed with the tools you have on hand, and make a decision about the best course of action. This requires the ability to think practically and quickly under pressure, as well as the knowledge and experience to know how to address the specific issue. Let's see different functions and intelligence characteristics. Componential Sub Theory. The analytical intelligence includes analyze, critique, judge, compare or contrast, evaluate, and assess. The experiential sub theory. The creative intelligence includes create, invent, discover, ideas and imaginations, hypothetical, and predict. The contextual sub theory. The practical intelligence includes apply, use, put in practice, implement, employ, and render practical. Let's have a quick recap on what we have learned. We have learned the triarchic theory of intelligence. In 1980, Robert Sternberg first introduced this theory. We have learned the componential sub theory, which includes analytical intelligence, the experiential sub theory, which includes creative intelligence, and contextual sub theory, which includes practical intelligence. Hope you liked this video. Video on theory of multiple intelligence is upcoming. So please share and subscribe. Thank you and keep smiling.